I'm going to start off talking a little bit about the Barben Analytical OXYvisor. This is an optical oxygen process analyzer. So, again, from a time perspective, a lot more information I'd love to put in here if anybody wants to talk more about these and kind of where this all fits. But the OXYvisor is a unique product, an optical fluorescence-based analyzer. I'll talk a bit about how that works. And it kind of fits in that there's lots of different oxygen measurements. Zirconia is fine for stacks and things like that, things where we're not worried about having combustibles there. Electrochemical analyzers are inexpensive. And the Barben is, probably in between that electrochemical cell and paramagnetic kind of analyzers, kind of where it fits in there in the cost and performance kind of structure. Actually better because the Barben is really good at measuring very low concentrations as well. And the other unique thing about this technology is we can do both gases and liquids with it. So we want to understand a little bit first about, why is process oxygen measurement so important for us? We often think about it for combustion control, but there's all sorts of process applications for measuring oxygen. Oxygen can be extremely corrosive and attack capital assets in gas, liquids, steam applications. And so one of the companies in the US recently replaced almost all of their electrochemical cells with the Barben type devices because they're getting corrosion in their gas processing facilities. And one of the problems with EChem cells can be they get poisoned by things like H2S and CO2. Oxygen can also impact process efficiency at things like H2S or amine scrubbers, so for H2S and CO2 removal, or product quality measurements for methanol and ethanol. So again, when we look at gas processing, oftentimes removal of oxygenates is important to us. And of course, from a safety perspective, in things like vapor recovery units, tank blanketing applications, flare lines, we want to ensure there's not oxygen there when we have combustibles. We got to keep the oxygen low enough that we don't worry about having a potentially combustible material there. So the Barben is, as we said, it's an optical luminescence type oxygen analyzer. And so I have a slide coming up talking a bit more about this piece. The unique thing about it is it's no moving parts and no real chemical interaction with the fluids we're trying to measure. The oxygen touches a sensitive surface that changes its optical properties when the oxygen touches it. But we don't have any chemical reactions going on like we'd have in a zirconia cell. We don't have any moving parts like we'd have in a paramag. And again, no chemical reactions going on like we would have in a electrochemical cell. So typical applications that, especially that we've been doing up here in Canada, has been things like trace level oxygen and flare gases. Sorry, this should say flare gas and vapor recovery units. Oxygen detection in hydrocarbon streams, so places where we have things like nitrogen headers or tank blanketing applications where we're trying to keep an inert atmosphere above a hydrocarbon stream. We've done oxygen detection in liquids such as methanol and ethanol, even in crude oil. And then, of course, dissolved oxygen in water. And so when we're doing things like steam generators, steam boilers, dissolved oxygen is a very important measurement from a corrosion perspective. A number of unique features, as I mentioned, we can do both gas phase and liquid applications. The OXYvisor is a recently launched product and has really nice user interface on it that's available through, you can sort of see the analyzer there and a touch screen over here. Very easy to work with. Local HMI display, USB storage for data. The sensors themselves have fast response and very poison resistant. And we can go down to single digit, really they say a detection limit of about 0.5 ppm in gases and single digit parts per billions in liquids.